Promised Neverland. I don't know who wants to go for.
I've been waiting for this for a couple days now.
I'm gonna just sit back.
Oh,
Go
you're gonna sit
ahead.
back? Okay.
And when
Well,
you guys want me on, I'll talk. But I want you guys to talk first.
okay. I guess we'll be the appetizer to this delicious meal. So yeah, that was like I thought I had missed an episode when it first started. I was literally like, wait a minute, weren't they running away from this alien thing? Now all of a sudden they're not only in another part of the world, but it seems like they're pretty comfortable and established in this area. And it just seemed very much like, I don't know, like a whole lot of time had passed. And much to my chagrin, my fellow co-host realized that it's only been, well, originally thought it was 2 days. It's only been a day since everything has happened, and these kids for some reason have aged a year. And they're talking. There's like this blonde girl that's there, and I'm like, who is she? I don't even know who she is, because there's Emma and Ray and all these other, the main characters we know, and then we see this other person who's like, I guess the same age as them, who's this blonde lady. She's like, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, who are you? What do you mean what are we gonna do? Who are you? And I don't know, I was just more confused than I was anything else. And I really don't know what to think. I do know, because I've never read the manga, I do know from a lot of people that have read it that a lot of stuff has been skipped. But even going in knowing that, it still just felt like a very weird episode, because I was literally just, it felt like a time skip happened, but at the same time it wasn't. It just felt extremely rushed, and it's definitely not something that I enjoyed, which sucks because the first season, mwah, a masterpiece. So good. This season is we're 5 episodes into the second season, and the next episode is going to be a fucking recap of 5 episodes, which is like, I don't understand that at all. I know My Hero Academia is real heavy with the recaps or whatever. At least with them, they do it at the beginning of a new season, so you get a kind of, okay, whatever. But if My Hero just did like every 5 episodes and they did a fucking recap like that, I'd be a little pissed. So I guess that's my overall thoughts about it. I didn't care too much about it, to be honest.
There's so much to say, but there's almost so little, in a sense. They skipped so much stuff. Like, you can tell they skipped so much stuff. I'm not even a manga reader. I don't read the manga. You didn't have to ever tell me that they skipped stuff. They obviously skipped it. And the thing about this is, the last episode, I was very hopeful they would clear all the plot holes up for the next episode. Every single plot hole that we talked about in the last podcast and my previous videos, go back and watch them if you haven't, they're still there. They didn't even try. And in this episode, they introduced new plot holes. Remember when Sonju was like, the only way to kill a demon is by shooting at the eye or whatever? Norman and his gang of hooded figures, the ministry, I guess, he has his own ministry of darkness, kills him by slicing the neck. Like, what? Also, Norman is introduced, and it's like, oh, hey, Norman. Who cares? Who cares?
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me, real quick, and I'll let you get back to it. It reminded me of that season where in South Park where Kenny actually died, and then they brought him back at the very last episode of the season. And he's just like, "Hey guys," just like, "Hey, where you been?" "Oh, I've just been hanging out over there." I get it. That was a joke and it was supposed to be funny, but that's what it felt like to me when Norman just came back. It's like, "Sup, guys?"
Listen, the thing with Norman is that his reintroduction into the series isn't like technically bad. It's like middle of the road, whatever. It's the fact that with this reintroduction, it's only been 7 episodes since we've last seen him. It hasn't even he hasn't been gone from the show long enough that he was in the show. Like he was in the show for 10 episodes. And it's like when he showed up, I was just like it was like it went over like a wet fart. Just completely deflated. Just like what? Why? Like I expected like you know what would have been cool instead of Norman? Isabella. That would have been
my gosh.
that would have been fucking cool. Because just think about it. Just think about it. Last episode, where is Isabella this episode? But last episode, they reintroduced Isabella. What better way to have a boring ass episode end like this than to have Isabella take off her mask and hood, and there she is.
And she's just like, "Hello, children."
Yeah, that would have saved this episode. Norman? We knew Norman was coming back by like episode 4 or 3 because Emma and the others wouldn't stop talking about him.
God, I sure miss that Norman. Oh, do you remember him? He was a great guy, that Norman. Norman Bates.
Completely.
Norman.
Completely telegraphed it. The first season of the show was absolutely incredible. This season so far, every episode it gets worse and worse. Here's the thing. Last episode was pretty good, in my opinion. But because of this episode, it makes the last episode worse because they didn't solve the plot holes. They didn't even try to explain it. And to be honest, like this episode and last episode, like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It's not like the worst thing I've ever seen. This isn't X-Arm bad. This is completely rushed. They skipped a ton of stuff, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I don't want to watch this show on this podcast anymore because I feel like, you know, with my videos that I do week to week, it would just be totally redundant, you know? So I think I'm going to kill this show, but
wow.
Satsuki, what do you have to say about all this?
I was going to say, Satsuki, the floor is yours.
This anime, this season is a piece of shit.
Okay, all right.
So there's so much, and you know, I've been looking on forums and whatnot, trying to gauge everybody's opinions on it, not just manga readers, because for the most part, we all are in unison. We don't like this season. That's just how it is going to be. If you look at the score for this season after this episode, especially, it's dropped. It went from, I want to say it was like 8.5 ish, something like that, and then it dropped to literally a whole number, or a whole it went from like 8.5 to like 7.6 almost. So like that's a pretty big drop off. But one thing I've seen from certain anime only people is them kind of misunderstanding manga readers' issues with it, because a lot of people are saying, oh, because they didn't adapt this perfectly, we feel this way, and like you know, it doesn't have to be 1-to-1. And the thing is, season 1 wasn't 1-to-1. There was a lot of stuff cut out from season 1. I didn't have an issue with season 1. If you go back and you go to the podcast of me talking about season 1, I've had the manga read during that time as well. No issues with that season at all, because it still was good. This though, this is the issue with it. The issue with this season isn't that it's going its own way. It's that it's still doing some of the shit that we did not like in the manga, but it's just cutting out so much information that it doesn't make sense. Why, when we were in the bunker, did it say, why did it say help?
Why were they in the bunker to begin with? It doesn't mean anything.
How did the soldiers figure out they were in the bunker? Never explained. Why is Isabella being reintroduced as an antagonist despite season 1 pretty much alluded to the fact that she wasn't going to help? She actually helped the kids escape. The demons were alerted and she sabotaged them basically from getting closer to them. So why is she being reintroduced as a villain when her motives won't align with that? Why in the hell did they show the demons were able to smell humans easily, but then we see a demon go into this temple place that they have as their new sanctuary? Why was he not able to smell them?
Oh, I noticed that too. And then those two kids, oh yeah, we're gonna help, and then they blew it almost instantly. Those kids are stupid.
And the reintroduction of Norman was so lackluster. It's not even funny. It's just the fact that they had to reintroduce Norman just to kill these two nobody demons. Like, these kids could have escaped from this. Those two demons that they were running from were light work. It's like, if you're going to show Norman coming back, can he at least save them? Like, at least make the moment cool. Like, I don't want to see you take out these two nobodies. The only thing this episode did good, in my opinion, is give you the information that the demons are destined to like rot away if they don't eat humans. So it links the demons and humans together. They have to coexist. They don't obviously, the demons want to just eat the humans. They don't want them to be on the same playing field as them. But it just shows you that if the demons and humans were to separate, the demons would die out, or they would, wither away. So at least it did that. Other than that, nah, I wasn't messing with anything in this episode whatsoever. Not a damn thing.
Want to say, Hollow, thanks for the $9.99. Much appreciated. Give Hollow your energy as he's at work. Tell him he's the best. Also, go subscribe to his channel.
You're the best, Hollow.
I'm gonna be real. I think from an entertainment, just from being solely entertained, every single episode we watched this week did it more than this episode of Promised Neverland. This episode of Promised Neverland was so all over the place. It was so random, and it just didn't feel right. It felt odd, like some uncanny valley of some kind, but for like writing. That I liked XR more than this episode. Like, just from a pure, like, just entertainment perspective, I liked XR more than this episode of Promised Neverland. And I don't know if what you guys have to say about that. That's just my own personal feelings. But this season, I feel like, is only going to get worse as time goes on. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like this show's a lost cause at this point, to be honest. And while I want to still remain hopeful and think that it'll get better, it's probably not. It's probably not. And for all the people as well that say, "Oh, just Promised Neverland Brotherhood, do a remake," guys, this is probably never getting a remake.
No.
Like, why would they remake it?
Yeah.
Roy.
Did you have that accent there?
I was like trying to say right, but it came out Roy. like why? I was thinking why too. So like, why would they make it so it came out Roy?
See, that's more entertaining than this episode. They're never gonna do it again. Like, the reason Brotherhood got readapted is because of plenty of reasons other than just it needed to be readapted. Just the same, like with Fruits Basket, for example, which hopefully, if EA watches Fruits Basket, we'll be covering the final season on this show. And by the way, Fruits Basket podcast moving over to the main channel, so we'll be covering on this channel anyways. But with Fruits Basket, the whole reason it got readapted is because the creator of the manga wanted it to get readapted, and she wouldn't relent. She wanted a full adaptation of her story that was better than the 2001 or 3 version or whatever. And that's how she got it to happen. Do we, like, if here's the thing. if the creator of this manga wanted this anime to be good, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. This wouldn't be happening. But it is. Nobody cares. Nobody obviously sees a potential in a Promised Neverland anime. So it's just not gonna, no remake. It's never gonna happen.
I was gonna also say on the Full Metal Alchemist point, I'm not entirely sure, but just from the timing of it when it came out, the original anime, I'm pretty sure the manga wasn't even done at that time. So they had no, they had no source material to work to adapt. So they had to go their own way. This anime did not need to do this. The thing is, even if the manga was still going for TPN, they could have still adapted Goldie Pond because they had like so much material to work after. I remember like thinking, speculating what chapter they would try to end this on, and I was thinking like around like chapter 86 of the manga. They've pretty much gone to like past like the hundreds. So at this point, it's whatever. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, this is Lost Cause. This is. And I don't know what else more there is to say about it, but to just belabor the point that this is now a dead horse, and we are just now continually beating it. I'm killing this. I cannot. I do not want to watch this on this show every week, and it because it'll just be the same thing over and over. Well, they fucked it up. It's terrible. Like it's getting worse and worse. And the thing is, I'm excited to talk in videos about it. Like I'll make my own videos on it. You can still watch those week to week. But I just don't feel that there is a point on this show to watch this with you guys. And it's kind of like the whole X-Arm thing. Like just put EA out of his misery, but it's kind of just like put all of us out of our misery. This isn't going to get better. It's done. Like this like they ruined a great show.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, like everything that I said before, never watched or never read the manga, but as far as just like the show itself overall, it just, I don't know. It feels very flat. Like the first season, like I liked it so much. I can go on record and you can listen to past episodes. I said like they could adapt that into like a live action like Netflix original, and it would be so good. Like I thought that story was very good, but I just think for some reason this particular season's just not living up